What's up, guys? Mickle here, and I think us in the XRP community really understand better than anyone else in crypto that most cryptocurrencies are gonna go away and not make it into our future financial system. Well, in this video, I want to show you exactly why I know XRP will be one of the cryptocurrencies that makes it. We actually got a fascinating data point earlier today that's really going to show you that the elites, the government institutions, the big financial players understand that XRP is going to have a place in this future financial system. I want to break down exactly what I saw today that makes me so much more confident that when the dust settles, XRP is going to be one of the few cryptocurrencies to make it. Towards the end of the video, I also want to break down the current state of the market. I want to show you why I think price action has been so boring recently, but also show you why I'm actually extremely optimistic for what could be around the corner. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. If you enjoy these videos, make sure to take a quick second to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's really going to help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a good place to buy some XRP or the Flare token, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said though, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So I want to start this video out and actually show you a clip from a Twitter space that happened earlier today where Ryan Selkis is talking about Gary Gensler and the SEC. Now I wanted to show you this clip because Ryan Selkis really goes in on Gary Gensler and the SEC here, and he says a lot of stuff here that I think everyone needs to hear. Now I really like what Ryan Selkis is doing here. He's one of the few people out there who's really willing to take a stand against Gary Gensler and the SEC. He speaks what's on his mind regardless if it could have bad implications for himself down the road, and that's always something I appreciate. Just wanted to show you this clip right here because he really tears into Gary, and I think you guys are all going to like to hear this.
Like, Gensler's just a liar, right? I've been on this for 2 years. He's just, there's no other way to say it. He's corrupt and he's a liar. It's not that he's making bad decisions. The SEC should go after scammers. They should go after bad actors. And you know what?
That's already against the law. We don't need new laws or regulations to punish fraud.
It's already against the law, but you know what? Gensler, if you want to do your job and be a hero, why don't you catch Voyager, Celsius, Genesis, FTX instead of hosting them in your office because they're political donors, and do your fucking job instead of just going after celebrities, right? That's why people can't stand him. It's not that he's mean or that, oh, we're trying to leverage regulatory arbitrage. It's that he is corrupt, he is dishonest, and he is completely captured by an anti-crypto senator who has outsized influence in this administration, in Elizabeth Warren. That's just the reality. So, I think people get uncomfortable talking about politics in general, and I've certainly opened up myself to some criticism and been a little bit of a lightning rod. But some of these statements that I've made the last 2 years are, aging well, unfortunately. And I think most people generally are of the same opinion that, if there's not a changing of the guard in this administration, move offshore. Like, it's over in the US.
So I thought that was a great clip by Ryan Selkis right there. He really hits on the most important points. No one dislikes Gary Gensler because he's mean or he's cracking down on certain projects. We're mad at Gary Gensler because he's refusing to go after scams. He's missed all the big scandals, meanwhile cracking down on players who are just trying to be honest and do good things in this industry. I thought Ryan Selkis killed it there. I thought his message was really important, especially when it comes down to politics. Guys, I hardly talk about politics on this channel, but it is clear that the administration in power wants nothing to do with cryptocurrencies, or at least a strong subset of the party in power. Hopefully that changes going into elections. I don't have any hope it will. Right now, I'm a single party voter. I am only voting for cryptocurrencies. So any candidate that's willing to come out and support crypto, I'm going to support. Unfortunately, I wish crypto wasn't so involved in politics right now. It is though. Hopefully pretty soon we won't have to worry about this stuff, and cryptocurrencies will just have the regulations they need to prosper in the United States, and we won't constantly have to worry about what corrupt bureaucrats are doing. So now I want to move on though and actually break down a data point I saw earlier today that I just think is absolutely critical in understanding which cryptocurrencies are going to make it into the future and which ones aren't. Now, when I first saw this, I was extremely excited because it gives us a very good idea of what the most powerful institutions in the world think about XRP. So earlier today, we actually had the Palau Ministry of Finance tweet out that earlier today, he sat down with members of the IMF to talk about their CBDC built on the XRP ledger. Now, the reason this is so interesting is because remember a couple years back, or about a year back now, when El Salvador declared Bitcoin a currency in El Salvador, the IMF freaked out. They said they were going to cut off all funding for El Salvador. They tried to make El Salvador reverse their decision. So essentially, the IMF was really pissed off that El Salvador actually went out of their way to make Bitcoin legal tender. Well, after seeing that, I was pretty curious how someone like the IMF was going to react to a country like Palau actually going out of their way to build a CBDC on the XRP ledger. Was the IMF going to have the same reaction? Were they going to freak out that Palau was actually using a public blockchain, the XRP ledger, to build their CBDC? And what we learned today is it doesn't look like it. It looks like Jay is essentially complimenting the IMF for coming out and sitting down with them and talking about the innovation happening in Palau. What this tells me is the biggest institutions in the entire world are perfectly fine with the XRP ledger. They are perfectly fine with countries building CBDCs on top of the XRP ledger. This is super exciting because essentially when El Salvador adopted Bitcoin, there was massive pushback. People were freaking out. People were saying, you can't do this. But when they adopt the XRP ledger, it seems like everyone's okay with it. This is actually extremely important going forward because as we see more countries look to adopt this technology, we want to make sure they're actually being supported in this decision and not getting massive blowback. What we learned today is it looks like countries can work on the XRP ledger without getting international pushback, and that is absolutely massive. I think what we're going to see going into the future is large organizations like the IMF are really going to push for certain technologies to win. What I want to point out here is it has never been more obvious to me that the XRP ledger is on their good side. We have seen countless data point after countless data point of Brad Garlinghouse sitting down with members of the IMF. We have seen different members of the IMF talking about Ripple and XRP, but this was all talk. Finally, we have a real world data point to point to and say, how is the IMF actually going to look at this when a country is adopting the XRP ledger? What we learned is their response was dramatically better than another country adopting Bitcoin, which I think just shows when the dust settles, when governments really start cracking down on this, it looks like to me it is obvious XRP is going to be on the right side of this. So now I want to finish this video off and actually talk about why the market has just been trading sideways, why we haven't seen anything exciting, and I just want to break down my thinking here because I think I have a very unique perspective on what's happening. So we're in a very, very complex time right now. A lot of people would tell you that we're going into a depression, we're going into a recession, but something that not a lot of people can comment on is almost every single company out there is blowing earnings out of the water. I'm just showing Adobe right here was the first one that popped up, but Adobe, like almost every other S&P 500 company, is beating earnings big. What is happening right now is the most powerful companies in the world are doing really well, while the average person is doing really bad. It's sad, it sucks, but when it comes down to investing in markets, the average person doesn't drive price. It's the big institutions, it's the big conglomerates, it's the companies like Adobe and Apple. So if they're doing well, generally, markets are still going to do good. And what we're seeing is time after time, analysts are saying these companies are going to miss, these companies are going to have bad earnings, and they keep on beating. Well, what's the other data point we need to be watching? That's inflation. Inflation is the whole reason we're in this mess. Inflation has been a massive disaster for the United States, and the reason we had to raise interest rates and those raises in interest rates to stop inflation is a big reason why the market hasn't done well. Well, what we're seeing is interest rates are actually falling off a cliff. Yes, we have had a bad data point here or there, but when you zoom out and really look at things, inflation is coming down dramatically. So what is happening? Well, so many people thought the process of bringing down inflation was going to create black swans in the market. We were going to have companies missing earnings big because the increase in interest rates was supposed to kill companies. Well, what we're seeing is most of the companies are still beating. They still have good earnings and inflation is coming down. That means we're kind of landing the plane right now. Everyone thought the plane was going to crash as inflation plummeted. But right now inflation's plummeting and companies are still doing good. So what's the point in all this? Why am I talking about this? Well, Wall Street actually figured this out. If you take a look at a company like Nvidia, Nvidia is well past all-time highs. What Wall Street realized is interest rates didn't affect Nvidia. It looks like there's not going to be a recession at Nvidia's business, so they jumped back in Nvidia in a big way. Now, if you're looking at this chart, I just want to compare it to Bitcoin for a second. We know Bitcoin drives most of other cryptos. What we can see is Bitcoin around December 2021 hit its high around the same time as Nvidia, right? They both crashed down pretty dramatically after that as the Federal Reserve started increasing interest rates. Since then, though, big Wall Street firms and investors realized Nvidia is going to be fine. Nvidia is going to make it through this, and the price ripped to the upside. Right now, I see Bitcoin in a very similar place as Nvidia was right down here. It made this bottom, it rebounded, and it needed Wall Street's money to come back in. It needed Wall Street to reassure the stock that things were going to be fine. I think we're going to see that same thing with Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's price action is just delayed. There's been a lot of FUD around FTX. There's been a lot of FUD about Binance that has been holding the price down. But I think the direction is gonna be the same to Nvidia. These two assets trade extremely similarly, and as long as we have a leading indicator, which I'm proposing is Nvidia, and as long as inflation keeps coming down and companies keep doing good, I think Bitcoin's gonna catch back up. Ultimately, I think Bitcoin right now is just enduring a lot of things we have seen in the market that has kind of created FUD, and that's the reason why it hasn't caught up faster. But I think as these catalysts kind of go away, as people realize that regardless of what happens to FTX or Binance, Bitcoin and XRP are going to be fine, we are going to see a lot of the price appreciation that these crypto assets have been missing out on flow back in a big way. Ultimately, I think we're towards the end of this boring sideways period. I think this move right here is right around the corner. Let's see what happens, but so far, all the indicators are looking really good. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.